Good Monday morning. How are you this morning? It is wet and gross outside. It was puddles everywhere and flooded roads everywhere as I was driving on into work this morning. It rained all night long, and it looks like I think 85% chance of rain today. So this is not the day you wear the cute shoes, girls. Just so you know, I have tennis shoes on because it's going to be stepping in some puddles. Pray for my husband this morning. He's getting some dental work done, so I'm going to kick button here, and then I'm out of here to go take him to the dentist, and then I have a doctor's appointment. Nothing major this morning, just for my migraines. So and pray for my migraines. Oh my goodness, yesterday I had a migraine, and so I was taking some medicine for it. So I took the good stuff for it, and it didn't work, and it made me physically ill. I think I was in bed at 5:30, and Tim made this killer dinner last night. He made steak and baked potatoes and green beans and all that, and I couldn't even eat it. I was just like, oh. So pray for a girl today that with this icky weather that my migraine doesn't come back like it did yesterday. I really appreciate it. And pray for Jamaica today. You know, here I'm whining about the rain here, but Jamaica, oh my goodness, a Category 5. And you know, we are way more equipped for a Category 5, and we have dealt with it several times. It is not fun. It is crazy. But a little island like that, Jamaica, is so pretty. I've been there before and several times. And it is just not really equipped for that and flooding and all that. So pray for everybody over in Jamaica. Hopefully they were at higher grounds or they were able to secure or whatever. And then, of course, I know that we'll all pitch in and help them through whatever needs to be taken care of. But just keep them in prayer this morning as Melissa is coming straight at them. And we know how it is. We are Florida strong. We are Florida strong here. We've dealt with hurricanes. Thank goodness this season has not dealt with it here, but we have dealt with a lot of rain in our area. Thank goodness that my husband came up with an idea to offload, storm water from our property, or we would be flooded inside WAPN. Thankful for the different things that we do here at WAPN and the ideas and the wisdom and the direction to keep WAPN safe and to keep us on the air. Pray for me as I'm dealing with some computer stuff that I'm getting straightened out and fixed so that I can billing is this week. And so I'm praying that I can get some things done maybe this morning before I leave, and then it all come together before Friday. Where did October go? I mean, here it is, the end of October, like the last quarter of the year. It has been such a busy year. I was thinking about it. A month ago, we were barbecuing in the parking lot, having a good old time for our anniversary. And here it is, been a month already. I know. It's just gone. Did you have a nice weekend? I did a lot of stuff volunteering lately, which I love to volunteer. So I was helping out one of my daughters and her business this beginning of wedding season. And she was retiring from part of her business. So this was her last big charade for a full planning wedding. Now, I know that seems so weird to me when I say that, because full planning and still doing day of and all that to me kind of seem the same, but it's not at all for her. So that was her last big full planning. And so I was helping with bud vases and cleaning and organizing and candles. And then there was candles. And so getting all that taken care of and lamps and all kinds of stuff. And I love doing that. I love counting. I love organizing. I love figuring out. And I'm just a numbers person. So to me, any way I can use numbers, I love it. So I was helping her with that on Friday. And then Saturday, I went early in the morning and helped with that. And then volleyball started for our granddaughter, Abby. So we were at the Y here in Holly Hill watching volleyball on Saturday morning. And then the day just went. I don't know what happened to Saturday. It was just gone. And Tim and I went to dinner, and we saw a lovely young lady that we've known for a while now, and talking to her about, direction and guidance and putting yourself out there and doing stuff. And so just a very good fellowship time. Sunday, of course, up early, helping Yvonne with yesterday's stuff, and then grocery shopping, and the Buffalo Bills played at 1. It was so nice to be back at a 1 o'clock game. I do not like night games. I'm just going to tell you right now, we get too hyped up or too upset or whatever. So it was great to have a 1 o'clock game again, and they won. And so that was wonderful. just all in all, busy, good, great weekend. And I appreciate it, except for the stupid migraine. But, it is what it is. I've had them since I was a young girl. And it's funny because I know one of the best things for it, I didn't even go do it, is actually a Coke and salt. So, yes, French fries and a Coke really help a migraine. But did I go do that yesterday? No, I kept trying to push through it. And I thought, this is just dumb. When God gives you wisdom and direction, how come sometimes we're going to do it a different way? That was me yesterday. I was fighting all things I could to get through it. And finally, I had to surrender and just head to the bed. And that's unusual for me. If you know me, I will stay up, until Tim goes to bed or whatever. But last night, I was in bed 5:30 probably. But, sometimes you just need a good night's sleep. Sometimes you just need to wake up refreshed and renewed and ready to take on the day. And like I said, as I was driving into work, the roads were pretty deep. Raining was pretty bad, but I was praising the Lord. I know that rain is good for our plants and for our grass. And, there's a lot of good things about it. And I was just praising the Lord that no hurricanes are going to come towards Florida this year. We don't need them. Last year was rough. The other year was rough. We've had a lot of rough years. I'm thankful not to have to pull out the generator this year. I'm thankful, that we have the backup generator here at WAPN. God is so good to WAPN. I think about all the things and thankful for the podcast room, thankful for new accounts that are going to be coming through the door, thankful for new ideas, thankful for vision. I'm always thinking about WAPN, and I'm always thinking about the one. And that's the whole purpose of WAPN, is the one. And, we never know who the one is. And once we get that one, we want to get the next one. But we're constantly, thinking of different things and thinking of different ways to do it. And as I was listening to the beautiful praise and worship of WAPN, I was so thankful for the music. But I started reflecting on what Wiley had said about talk radio. We are Christian Talk Radio. We are a radio station that can pray for you. We can stand in the gap for you. We can encourage you. We can talk about all things Jesus. And I love that about WAPN. And I was thinking about, last week when we were saying, love thy enemy and how important that is. And we want to make that a national day. And then about the marriage seminar coming up and how important marriage is. And just the different things that we offer here at WAPN and the different resources that we offer here at WAPN. I was thinking about the young music that we play on Friday and Saturday nights and how God has just really blessed me with that. One of my granddaughters helped me with some of that. And then Kuba sent me some music for that. And thankful for that. So I'm just really praising the Lord for all things that he is doing at WAPN and has done for WAPN. And what he has for the future of WAPN. I remember when we put all this podcast equipment in here and I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But I'm thankful that we finally have the YouTube situation because I really believe that's another resource for Christians and non-Christians and you don't even have to subscribe, The only thing like with Facebook and Instagram and all that, you either have to follow or like or share or become friends or whatever. And YouTube's different about that. You can actually go there and watch it and don't have to be accountable for it. And, people sometimes don't want to say, oh, I'm following that or I'm watching that. But if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it is WAPN 91.5 FM. And anything that is live with the podcast equipment automatically goes on YouTube. So that is something we started a couple months ago and very excited that we're doing that. Somebody said, are you going to be a TikToker? I don't think I'm going to be a TikToker. I can't imagine putting another thing on my plate. And I really don't do good with the reels and the videos. I'm sure I could learn because I'm constantly learning. I think that's very important that every day that you're learning and putting yourself out there and pushing, if I didn't push so much and I didn't constantly attend or volunteer or do the different things, WAPN would not be here 40 years later. They just wouldn't be. Times have changed over the 40 years. Things have changed over the 40 years, and you have to constantly change and constantly, be relevant to what's going on. You shouldn't be of the world, but you need to be relevant. And so I'm constantly, doing that and constantly thinking about what to do for WAPN and getting ready to start a new show on Mondays. Excited about that. We'll be starting that in a few weeks. We'll be training for that next week. doing some recovery and doing some testimonies. I'm a big advocate on testimonies. I think that, you go through it so you can help somebody else with it. And so sometimes it's not fun. A lot of times it's not fun going through whatever you have to go through. But, at the end and you look back and you go, but God, but God, but God, His grace, His hallelujah, He got me through it. And I can be an encouragement and I can be something to somebody else. And so now I look at testimonies as, well, I got to go through it. I'm going to get through it and I'm going to have a glory in the end of it, and I start looking when I'm in the process of what I'm going through, of what God's plan is it and what is He doing in it. Like, I don't even like being in bed that early last night and, having that bad migraine. But maybe the process I needed to go through was I needed to catch up on some rest. I needed to let my body just mend or heal or whatever. I go. And sometimes your body just needs to take a break. So maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But I know that I'm well rested and I know I'm well ready to take on this week and excited for this week. And my husband goes, well, you don't have anything on the calendar this week. And I actually don't, because I have appointments today, and then I have the end of the month, and, all things good, all things for the glory of God. And, look at your calendar, look at your day and say, thank you, Jesus, for whatever's going to happen today. Thank you for provision. Thank you for a vision. Thank you for my strength. Thank you for a good attitude. Thank you for willing and able. I am willing and able to walk through whatever I need to walk through for WAPN. I keep showing up no matter what. I'm driving on in this morning. Like I said, I was thankful. It was pouring down rain. And I said, I've got a lot to do this morning. I've got to kick it in gear and get it done. There isn't I can't, or, I'm not going to. No, it's, I've got to get it done. And when you change your stinking thinking, and yes, it's stinking thinking that you can't, you're going to stay stuck. You're going to stay stuck right there. If you pull yourself up by your bootstrings and say, God, you've got this, and I am willing and able to do whatever you ask of me to do. Whatever you ask of me to do. And then be ready. You might be uncomfortable. I can actually guarantee you're going to be uncomfortable. You are going to be uncomfortable. But when you're in the uncomfortable, that's when God is making a way. So be uncomfortable. Be out of your ordinary. Be inconvenient, because God's got a plan and He's ready to help you, your business, your family, your health, your whatever it is. And I know that there's a lot going on, and I know that people are dealing with stuff. But I look at it, when I'm going through it, somebody else doesn't have to deal with it. So I'll take it, because I'm tough and I've got God on my side. So let's do it. Let's do this Monday. I'm excited to see what He's going to do this Monday. One of the main ways we grow is favor, by declaring it. It's not enough just to read it. It's not enough. You got to believe it. You have got to believe that God has favor over your life, your business, your family, your health, your finances, whatever it is. God's got favor over it. Name it and claim it and see what happens today. Y'all like to donate to WAPN? 1508 State Avenue right here in Holly Hill. You can come on by here. If I'm not here, there's a mail drop, throw it there, and I'll get the finances, and they go to the over and above. Or you can become a monthly partner, one-time gift. Go over to WAPN.net and click donate or give now. If you'd like to find out where you can become part of the WAP family, how you can be on the air, WAPN.net, and go program guide. There's openings. We would love to get you on the air. If you're local, I'll train you. You can have all the fun stuff in here, or we can take your program through, we have a hub. You just send an MP3 through that way. Whichever way, we would love to get you started on WAPN. It is Monday, October 27th, 2025, 81 today and wet. Just 81 and ucky with a low of 72. Madison, 76 with a low of 67. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday, Paula, Michelle, and everybody else celebrating a birthday, anniversary, whatever you're celebrating. Today is National Navy Day. And again, be praying for Jamaica as they are about to take on a big storm. But God is bigger than the storm and will help them through it. Well, y'all, I'm out of here. I'm going to go take Tim to the dentist, and I'm going to get this day going.